Good morning. I wanted to hop on. Just went for the best walk with some of my really good girlfriends. It was so nice. If you are out and about in Atlanta today, go for a walk. It feels so good outside. But I wanted to pop on. I haven't put up a story lately about. I was calling them business F-ups, but I think like learning things I've learned when growing the business. And I know one of the things that I wanted to talk about was processes, but it's such a huge, overwhelming thing to get into. And I'm going to be sharing some of the things we've done at Paper Daisies that have made things so much better and made things easier to grow and scale. And I kept thinking, like, how am I going to introduce this? And I was at a party last night and shared one of the hardest things we ever went through at Paper Daisies, which led us to a lot of the processes that we have now. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to share this story. It's a good one. It's stressful, but it's a good one. And I think enough years have gone by that I can share it now and be okay. So I don't remember how many years ago, 4 maybe, we were doing the invitations for the opening of the new Porsche dealership here right up the road in Chamblee. It was really exciting. I think there were like, I don't know, 400 or 500 invitations, and they were gorgeous. They were black. I did a rendering of the new building in gold foil and red foil and blind embossed crest on the back. The envelope lining looked like red leather out of a car. I mean, these were gorgeous. Foiled return address, custom postage. And we'd worked really hard on them, and it was time for them to be mailed out. And I was leaving. I had about 20 of the VIP ones that I was bringing over to the dealership that were going to like the president of Porsche and the president of Home Depot, things like that. And right before I left, I said, hey, can somebody just double check one more time the addresses, the address list? And then they were going to be on their way. So I'm sitting up at the office and talking to somebody at the Porsche dealership. And I had brought like 5 of the kind of regular invitations, not the VIP ones, with me. And one of the things that Excel randomly does when you do a mail merge, I still don't know why, it randomly will put a number at the front of all of the addresses. And I've known this, we would QC and look for this, but as I'm looking and talking to the person, I look down at these 5 invitations that are sitting there and notice that each one of them started with the same number. Let's just say 3. I think it was 5 and I was looking at them going, oh, shit, please tell me this did not happen and that it didn't get caught. I'm like, panic welling up in me. I think I literally start breaking out in a sweat and I'm like, okay, okay, I'm gonna go now. I think we're all good. And it was like about 5:45, 6. So post office, completely closed. And if you don't know this, if you drop something off at the post office, that you're done. Like you can't get it back. And legally. And so I'm literally having like a full-on panic attack. And of course the office is like upstairs. I'm walking down this like big glass building with all these people, complete panic. I'm picking up the phone to call the team. And as I'm picking up the phone to call them, they're calling me saying, Lisa, one of our production contractors had dropped off like 20 additional ones that they had added, and she noticed it. And she was like, hey, these all start with a 5. Did you guys, whatever. They'd mailed them. So I immediately drive to the post office and have a complete panic meltdown. They're closed up. I mean, there are people back in the back. And if you know anything about the post office, they're back there. They're working all hours, but the post office is closed to the public. And if you've seen that door that has the little tiny window, like the people with the power can open it and be like, no, go away, close. Well, I'm at the bottom of that door sobbing. I mean, I am crying, hysterical. Please, there's this big box of invitations that somebody just dropped off. Every single address is wrong. There's a number at the front of please just, if you can please, for 45 minutes. I mean, my husband's coming up, like, it's gonna be okay. He's driving to meet me. I'm offering to sleep with anybody back there. I mean, whatever I can do to get these invitations back. Because what happens is, they would have been mailed, and some of the postal workers would have known who the people were, and the invitations would have gone through. Some would have been returned that week. Some would have been returned in 3 months. Some, it could have been a year to 2 years. Like, this was going to be a trickling factor forever. And the devastation of all of the hard work we put in, and this one thing that, what We didn't have a process to catch it. I thought we did, but we didn't. So it's 45 minutes, and all of a sudden, I mean, I'm just crying on the floor. The door opens up, and somebody, boom, kicks out the box of invitations. Never says a word, slams the door. I mean, it was illegal. They're not supposed to do that. Somebody had my back there. And so then it's like 7 o'clock. Everybody has gone home, you know, for the night with Paper Daisies. Literally called everybody. The entire team came back. We worked through the night. We had to, these envelope liners were like, there was no way we could get this paper again. Like, it was specialty paper. We had to open them all, peel all the envelope liners, peel the custom postage off, refoil. My foil guy lives 2 hours away, drove up there. He met me early in the morning, and I waited while he refoiled all the return addresses. Got back, we did everything, put all the liners back in, custom postage. They never knew it. We got them out the next day. I think I shaved 5 years off my life. I've never loved our team more. I mean, everybody came back in and rallied, and we got it done. Really big customer, a really big caterer involved with that job that could have hurt the business so much. And we learned so much from that job and how important processes were. And we had made assumptions that somebody had checked. And when I asked somebody to do one final check, they were checking names and kind of spot checking. But it was like, holy cow, if we had just checked one of those. And you'd think, like, why, how could that happen? We didn't have specific processes in place, and we were making a lot of assumptions. We were growing at a really fast rate, and we were making, like, just a lot of errors at that time. And that's when we really started to focus on processes. So since then, that's been 4 years. I mean, we are so process heavy, and still, I mean, to this day, I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong. We are like a fire hose of information with invitations. There's so many details and information that come our way. And we can be working on, literally over 100 jobs at a time. And it's so hard to gather all that information in a timely way to make sure that we're not doing it in a rush, because everybody wants everything rushed, which is fine if you're working on, 3 or 4 jobs, but when you're working on, 10, 15 jobs at a time, and everybody needs everything rushed, and they're big jobs. So this week, or later this week, I'm going to introduce some of the things that we've done to create our processes, and we're literally always improving. Literally launched a new proofing template just this week. So, but I wanted to share that story. It's one of the hardest things we've ever done, went through, so stressful, but we made it, and we are so much better for it, and we're continuing to get better. So later this week, I'm sharing some of those processes that came out of that. Hope y'all have a good Sunday. It's gorgeous out.